What's up you guys, it's Paul here and welcome back to my channel. In this video I wanted to share with you 3 of the best ETFs to buy right now, especially call options on them, which are providing exceptional returns, okay? So for anyone out there who is new to options trading but who's hesitant with trading options for stocks because they're so volatile, ETFs are your best alternative options to get exceptional returns with a more predictable outlook, okay? So in my previous video, I quickly went over this ETF SPYG here, where if you look at the portfolio, you'll realize that it's pretty much the S&P 500 index. You'll see the top holdings are your standard FANG stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Visa, Nvidia, and all that. So this is one of those classic S&P 500 ETFs that has been performing exceptionally well, okay? So if you look at the performance here too, year to date, it's 28.28%. Over a 5-year period, it's averaged 19.8%. Over a 10-year, it's 18%. And over a 15 period, nearly 12%, okay? Say any ETF that gives you that kind of average returns over 10 to 15 years is definitely needs to be in your portfolio for exceptional returns, okay? But here's where it gets really amazing. Just a few days ago, I showed you how buying calls on SPYG produced 400% return in just 1 month, okay? Now, just about 4 to 5 days later, that shot up to 585%, as you can see here, okay? So this is something that I don't see many people talking about. Buying call options on ETFs, which are a lot less volatile, a lot more predictable, and provide a lot more consistent average annual returns. Just buying call options on them are giving me exceptional returns. And I think anyone else out there who's a little more conservative or risk averse can really benefit from this, okay? And the reason for this, as I explained in the previous video, also has to do with the ratio between the price that you pay for it versus the delta, okay? So currently SPYG is trading at $240 for this 54 call, expiring on December 18th. And the delta, if you see here for the Greeks, is 0.4898. Okay, what that means is for every dollar change in SPYG, this call will go up by $48.98. Okay, so at this point, if you look at it from a percentage point of view, 48.98 divided by the current price 240, that's a 20.4% move for just a $1 move in SPYG. Okay, that's exactly why these calls are moving up so much, and it shot up 585% in just under 5 weeks. Okay, now here's another ETF that's been doing exceptionally well recently. If you look at its performance over 1 year, it's up 91%. There are not many ETFs out there that are up nearly 100% over the last 1 year, especially through the March crash we saw due to the pandemic, okay? So for an ETF that goes up that much, if you buy call options on it, that is also, you can expect hundreds of percentage of returns on that, okay? So as you can see here, for the few contracts that I have, it's up 485.5% too. And part of these were also debit spreads, this $350 and $355 calls were part of a debit spread. And on top of that, I have 3 of the $60 calls and 2 of the $65 calls. I'm pretty much going to hold them until January 2021, and I expect a lot more profits from it, okay? I also had 2 $38 and 2 $40 calls before, and I sold out of them for a good $4,400 profit already, just to build up some cash. But this is another one of those ETFs that is doing exceptionally well. Now, if you want to quickly look at within the portfolio here, it's pretty much the solar ETF, which tracks all the top solar stocks right now that are doing exceptionally well, okay? So year to date, it's up 86.72%. For the last 5 years, it's 16.91%. And over 10-year period, it's only 0.2%, but that's because solar stocks have not been performing so well, okay? It's only now that solar stocks are really starting to gain popularity. The more we are transitioning into renewable energy, solar stocks are one of the top stocks that are really benefiting from it, okay? So an ETF like TAN, where if you look into the portfolio, you'll see companies like Sunrun, SolarEdge, First Solar, Enphase Energy. All these are top stocks in the solar energy field that are doing exceptionally well, okay? So now that we're really starting to see the pickup in renewable energy, I think this is an ETF that is going to come out doing exceptionally well, okay? So even if you just want to hold this ETF and not buy any options on it, you would have still been up 91% over the last 1 year. But if you buy shares and on top of that buy a couple of call options, then you would again see percentages around the 400 or 500% that you could see here, okay? In a really short time. I haven't held these for too long, probably 2 to 3 months at the most. And a 500% return in 2 to 3 months, I think is exceptional, okay? Another ETF that I like, and a lot of people probably know about this, is ARK Invest Innovation ETF. This is another amazing ETF that has done exceptionally well, 122% in the last 1 year and 387% over the last 5 years. I've never heard of an ETF that has gone up so much, so consistently. But again, just like how TAN was benefiting from a transition to renewable energy, ARK Innovation is really benefiting because of a transition to disruptive companies in, electric vehicles, payment methods, genetics, and the cord cutting. All these top companies like Tesla, Square, Invitae, Roku, CRISPR, all these are companies that are innovative, disruptive companies in their respective fields, okay? Now, most of it is obviously coming from Tesla because as you all know, Tesla has gone up 952% in the last 1 year, which is crazy. But even if you look at the rest of the holdings within the portfolio, Square has gone up 169% in the last 1 year. Roku is only 18% now, but since they first bought it, has gone up a lot more. CRISPR is over 100%, 2U 146%, Zillow 156%, Compugen 321%. So every time you look through the portfolio of a certain ETF, and you see that they're disruptive companies that are doing exceptionally well in their fields, that is the perfect ETF to buy into, okay? Now, the reason I specifically prefer ARK Innovations is because of the option spread, okay? Now, I like to have both shares and options, but when I try to look at options here, let's say I go to December, and if I want to buy some options, they have a pretty decent bid to ask spread, okay? That's one of the things that I really look at before buying any options on it, okay? So I ended up buying 3 of these $90 calls expiring on December 18th, probably a month and a half ago, and they're up 216% as well, okay? Now, another ETF by ARK Invest that I really like is called ARKW, which is the next generation internet. And now I own shares of it in a different account, but the reason I don't trade options on it is because if you actually go through the options, let's say I wanted to buy the 120 call, the bid-ask spread is not as tight as I would have liked it, okay? $170 bid-ask spread is not ideal. You usually want it to be as close as possible. You could potentially pick out a certain option by looking through different strike prices, but as of now, I didn't find one that was tight enough for me to buy it yet, but eventually I just might. Another one by ARK Invest that I like a lot is the Genomic Revolution. This has companies like Illumina, Invitae, CRISPR, and all these companies within that ETF. And if I look at options within this, let's say 165 call, again, the bid-ask spread is $350, which is a lot. And same thing with the volume and open interest, it's really, really low, okay? So whenever you see too much of a bid-ask spread and not enough volume or open interest, even if you're really bullish on this stock, I wouldn't recommend trying to chase after the options under it, okay? So these are the 5 ETFs that I like a lot. From an options perspective, there are usually 3 options that I really prioritize right now because of the good relationship between the price of the call option versus the delta versus the bid-ask spread and the volume and everything, and how well they've been performing, okay? So the 3 ETFs are SPYG, TAN, TAN, and ARKK, okay? So keep an eye on them, put them in your watch list, or this may be a good time for you to buy if you've done your research and you think you're bullish on it. But I just wanted to share that with you quickly because to be able to see 500% return in such a short time, I knew this is something I wanted to share with people who watch my channel so that they can benefit from it as well, okay? So thanks again for watching, you guys. I hope that helped you out. If you enjoyed it, please do smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done it already, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified of my future uploads. Okay? Thanks again for watching, and until next time.